Testing, testing. All right. Sounds like it's working. Let's cue the music. Let's get the show on the road. Let my camera load. There we go. Welcome everyone to today's live stream. We're going to be talking about the implications of AI in the cyber security landscape. It's an interesting topic and one that I think has been covered quite a bit from what I've seen. However, it is something I want to talk about because it is something that's becoming more and more prevalent in the industry. So, AI in cybersecurity. It's an interesting topic because it's something that you hear about a lot. A lot of people are worried about AI or automation taking over jobs and changing the landscape of the world and the employment world, which is perfectly fine. Today I want to talk about the implications. Good timing, my alarm goes off for my live stream. We'll wait for that. There it is. So when most people think about AI and automation, they're thinking about, okay, am I going to lose my job? Is this the biggest risk to myself with speaking about AI? However, I think there's more to it than that. There's more to look at here that is also as important, if not more important, than the initial job loss indicator, which is what most people look at. Let's jump over to the PC real quick and take a quick look. I want to cover some stuff first before we sort of dive too deeply into this. So AI and cybersecurity, this is from Terranova Security. You can go to terranovasecurity.com/blog/AI-in-cyber-security if you want to check out this article for yourself. Now, there's a couple of good points here, which is AI and cybersecurity pros and cons, what it means for your business. So this is from a business standpoint. I've also got some information from the NCSC, which is a UK government agency, as well as some examples of AI, and then a tool to identify if an image is AI or not. I'd like to see some stuff in the chat. If anyone wants to have a chat, discuss any of the stuff that I'm talking about, please feel free, drop it in the chat. Let's make this a collaboration. All right, so onto this article. AI has been making waves in virtually every industry, and cybersecurity is absolutely no exception. Several companies are adopting the technology into different business functions, such as logistics and IT. But as AI quickly leaks into the business landscape, it has also been the subject of criticism. Recently, news reports have revealed that 3/4 of global businesses are considering or have already implemented a ban on using ChatGPT and other AI applications within the workplace. The decision is owing to recognized risks that they pose on cybersecurity and data privacy. So an interesting angle here. In this article, we'll take a closer look at the benefits and drawbacks of AI and what it means for your business. So some benefits: faster detection, network security, phishing detection, secure authentication, behavioral analytics, and preventing online fraud. We'll get to that in a second. I want to have a look at the cons. Doesn't really discuss that on this article. That's okay. So faster threat detection and response. Sure, I mean, you can leverage AI to get a better understanding of what is on a system and to identify threats and potentially mitigate threats. Improved accuracy and efficiency. I argue that that is a valid point as a pro. Greater scalability and cost savings, absolutely. But the risk: AI's ability to analyze large data sets with lightning speed promises unparalleled protection against cyber attacks, and companies worldwide are heavily investing in its application. Absolutely. AI is a growing field and probably will grow for quite a lot of time. But as AI increasingly relied upon bolster security, there are risks present. So if we have a look at here, we can see the percentage of executives who noted cybersecurity vulnerabilities among top 3 concerns and then the major area of concern. So in China, bugs in AI cognitive code which make it vulnerable to attack. Very likely. Germany, use of AI to automate tasks involved in executing cyber attacks. Interesting, they're using AI for pen testing. US, stealing sensitive or proprietary data. Interesting that they're taking more of a defensive concern here. France, use of AI automated tasks in executing cyber attacks, so same as Germany. Australia, stealing, so more on the defensive side. UK, very much the same as China. And Canada, manipulation of AI cognitive training data or algorithms. Now, there's a line here that I like from Deloitte that says cybersecurity vulnerabilities tops the list of concerns about various types of AI risks in a study by Deloitte. And this is an area that I sort of want to touch on here because it is an important piece. So imagine for a second you're working in an organization and you have a set of tools to detect and mitigate risks that is built entirely off AI. Your job is there to monitor these, systems to identify if the information is correct or not. Now, a lot of organizations won't, and I think this is a personal opinion, I think they'll see the results from AI and think, we don't need someone to analyze that information, especially in small organizations, because the AI system is already monitoring this. And while that's all good and fine and everything, what if it's reporting on false positives? What if it's mitigating alerts that don't actually need to be mitigated? What if what if it goes further and traces this further down the line and looks into it more as a potential threat in the future more than it does actually doing what it's supposed to do and mitigating the risk? There's a few what ifs here, and I think having human intervention with any AI system is an important step in the right direction because it gives you that human touch and feel, that once overlook. Is this doing the right thing? Is it doing it the right way? Is it within its own boundaries? And is what it's looking at actually important? There's many different topics here that I think are worthwhile exploring when looking at different AI models. If we jump over to this NCSC Gov report, the near-term impact of AI on cyber threat. This is an assessment from the NCSC focusing on how AI will impact the efficiency of cyber operations and the implications for the cyber threat over the next 2 years. Okay. Go down to how likely is a realistic possibility. NCSC assessment uses the PHIA probability yardstick. Every time we make an assessment, judgment, or prediction, the terms used correspond to the likelihood ranges below. So likelihood of events or developments occurring. So if we have a look, I'll get a little bit closer here because I can't read it. I'm going blind. The first section is remote. So like a remote all the way up to almost certain. I might zoom in on this because that text is tiny. All right. So likely or probably is the largest bracket here, as we can see. Key judgments of this are that AI will almost certainly increase the volume and heighten the impact of cyber attacks over the next 2 years. However, the impact on the cyber threat will be uneven. So if we have a look here, it's very likely, but is it going to be even or not? Who knows? The threat to 2025 comes from evolution and enhancement of existing tactics, techniques, and procedures, for sure. Although saying that if you were to train an AI to learn about the tools, techniques, procedures, tactics, etc., and to improve on them, then that's where the real threat is, I believe. All types of cyber threat actor, state and non-state, skilled and less skilled, are already using AI to varying degrees. Absolutely true. AI provides capability uplift in reconnaissance and social engineering, for sure. Almost certainly making both more effective, efficient, and harder to detect. Now, this is an interesting topic because if we sort of zoom out from the cybersecurity landscape for a second, and we have a look at AI generated images, like things from Midjourney or DALL-E, etc., all of the different AI generating tools. There is a possibility there to create, and there's another one actually called Pika, Pika.art is the web domain, where you can generate videos. Now, I've loaded myself into that model before to see if I could automatically generate video content of myself, and then I just talk over the top and it generates this. This video here is not AI. This live stream is not AI. This is actually me talking. But I think it is important because in the business landscape, if you're the CEO of a company or a finance manager, for example, and you do some OSINT on that target and you discover, okay, the CEO is actually out of town at the moment, he's traveling in this particular area, you could generate AI images or videos even to potentially call or message or email someone to create more credibility of who you are, even though you're pretending to be someone else. Now, this is interesting because AI art, and I'll flick over to a tweet I saw earlier of Taylor Swift, which is probably going to demonetize my channel. That is quite believable. I mean, if you look at it quickly, you're like, oh yeah, that's definitely her. Let's take a quick look at the Taylor Swift example here. It's all about Taylor Swift AI going crazy, Taylor Swift getting pretty bad and naughty here. I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to click on the next image because that will absolutely get me flagged for porn. However, it's an interesting topic that, I mean, it looks fairly believable on a huge screen like this. It's obviously, you can see and you're like, obviously not. However, if you were to use that in a business landscape, obviously not sending porn, but videos or photos of someone to make a thing more believable, is anyone going to go to a tool, for example, like isitai.com? Now, these sort of tools are growing because of the expansion and growth and everything else included in the AI space. AI is becoming more of a normal thing. However, people are finding it harder and harder to determine if an image or video is AI generated. This is where things get a little bit interesting because, like I said, it could make it slightly more believable to a person that, you know, this is something that should be mitigated against. I mean, a lot of people, some people I've seen, and I feel like I'm one of these people. When you look at an AI image, you're like, that's AI. Like you can see it's AI. Then you load it into an image like isitai.com. You go, yep, it is AI. But how many people are actually going to do that? I don't think many. I don't think too many people are going to bother having a look at if it is actually AI or not. Is this something I should be concerned about? Man, the implications on social engineering, on phishing campaigns is massive, I believe, as far as AI is concerned. Let's jump back over here. More sophisticated uses of AI in cyber operations are highly likely to be restricted to threat actors with access to quality training data, significant enterprise in both AI and cyber, and resources. More advanced users are unlikely to be released before 2025. Fair enough, we've got a bit of time to think about these things. AI will almost certainly make cyber attacks against the UK and everywhere more impactful because threat actors will be able to analyze exfiltrated data faster and more effectively, and use it to train further AI models. AI lowers the barrier for novice cyber criminals, hackers for hire, and hacktivists to carry out effective access and information gathering operations. This enhanced access will likely contribute to the global ransomware threat over the next 2 years. Now, this topic is something that I want to talk about a little bit further, because if you tie in AI and automation, which is something I do in my own businesses for things like some of the marketing that I do is automatically generated with an automation. A lot of the content is sometimes assisted with AI, especially the image generation stuff. It's useful for marketing. It's useful for outreach. I use it for both sides of the business, like talking, just general awareness of the company, as well as doing outreach to new clients. However, this is a space where things are a little bit tricky, because I'm using it for something I think is good. I'm using it for a use to give me back time, because I'm the only person doing all these things in the organization that I have in my business. So I need help, and AI and automation can definitely help with that. However, in the space of, I mean, you can flip that over to the other side, to something more nefarious, and do bad things with AI. That's what this whole discussion is about. There is potential for really bad stuff to happen. And that's what I want to sort of outline here. I want to talk about the darker side of AI and how it can be used by threat actors to really impact organizations. Now, I said that there's only 2 people watching this, which is perfectly fine. Someone might watch this later and find this information useful. But for the 2 people watching this, I want to ask a question to you. And if you're watching this later after it's been streamed, chuck it in the chat. I want to know, what do you use AI for, and have you used it in a cybersecurity landscape before? If you are using it in a cybersecurity landscape, what do you use it for? I want to know, are you using it to assist you with coding, for different types of scripts? Are you using it for automated attacks or automated recon tasks? What do you use AI for, and how does that sort of operate? I'd love to know about that. Let's jump back over to the PC. Moving towards 2025 and beyond, commoditization of AI-enabled capability in criminal and commercial markets will certainly make improved capability available to cyber crime and state actors. On the flip side of that, I would argue that it also will help people on the other side of on security. So on defensive security, there is potential there for AI to help you with your job, or to help the business stay more secure. It's not all about the attacks. It's not all about malicious actors, although that is definitely going to be a large piece. I think this will also impact rather defensive cybersecurity teams as well. And I know for a fact quite a few of the organizations that I've worked with, or especially government organizations, have implicated some form of AI, especially on the defensive side of things, to help mitigate tasks. There's a message here from Kim. YouTube says, I mostly knowingly use ChatGPT. I use it for bouncing ideas off it and rewriting text. Okay. I was like, are you doing fraudulent tests here? There was an interesting post I saw on Twitter before by Insider PhD that very lightly touched on this. It was more about the teaching side of things that she was talking about. But the thing that sort of raised a concern for me is she talked slightly about cheating on exams or assessment pieces for the students that she's teaching. Now, I know quite a few students, especially people who are up and coming in the cybersecurity industry, who are they do use a lot of like ChatGPT type things to help assist with examination. Now, is there an engine in place to help detect a really well-written AI? Like, what if you're not just writing the entire thing with AI, for example? You're just using it for certain parts to help you I guess, dictate what you want to say better. Is that cheating, or is that just assisted learning? That's an interesting topic to talk about. Kim YouTube says, I use it a lot for scripting too. I want to get Copilot actually. I've had a play with Copilot. It's pretty interesting. I haven't dived into it too deeply. I've just sort of played with it as a system, and it looks fine so far. Kim also says AI is right now just a tool. It's machine learning in a nice wrapper with good interface and some tools. Absolutely. It is pretty basic at the moment, and there's not, at least I don't believe there's a huge amount of um, risk right now. However, this is about the future of AI, the implications in the future, where things will go. And this is the discussion I want to have. Where do you believe AI will go in a cybersecurity landscape in the future? Do you believe it will replace jobs entirely? Do you think it will, do you think pen testing, for example, will be a piece removed, a job completely removed because it's completely AI driven? Do you think coding is going to become a thing of the past? Do you think the people who code will be coding future AI engines and that's it? Is there no more collaboration in the space of coding or scripting as far as if AI can do it better? Is that a risk for humans? Is that a like where does it end is a question that I want to ask. At the moment, like you said, it is just a tool. And is it going to stay like that? Is there going to be any sort of AI legislation that says, hey, no more AI? No more. We're stopping it at this limit. We don't want it to get smarter. We don't need it to get smarter. Or will we take a flip side where it enhances the human race into something bigger and better that, I don't know, maybe this is the next step in evolution. I don't know. These are the sort of questions that I want to ask about AI, because I think it is a very interesting topic that more people need to discuss. And yeah, I mean, it is everywhere. You see it on the news, you see it on the internet everywhere. You see people using it every day. I use ChatGPT fairly often to ask questions. I use Bard every now and then just to see what's different. Different types of image generation tools, definitely use those every now and then just to generate, usually just marketing stuff. I use it for a lot of business marketing type things. But if I was a student, would I use it to assist me with assessments? Probably. I don't think I'd stop myself from enhancing what I have as an assessment piece. If I can make it better, then I mean, I probably would. And if AI is going to help me make it better, I probably would. But is that cheating? I don't know. Maybe. Probably. I mean, I think it depends how much of it you use for your assessment pieces. In the space of cyber threats, though, is using machine learning AI models to complete tasks like reconnaissance or cyber defense. If there's automated AI malicious actors out there, which there are already, and they're just constantly smashing endpoints, finding holes, and then breaking in automatically with an AI system. Then on the other side, you've got an AI defense system in place that's mitigating these AI generated attacks at the same time. Now, this is a really fun home lab to create. If anyone wants to make this as a home lab, this would be absolutely incredible to see. I'd love to see this, where there's a home lab in place. You've got an attack machine, a defense machine, put a firewall in the middle, standard attack defense lab. Now, instead of doing attacks yourself and defending yourself, what if you automated an AI engine to pen test against the defensive machine? On the defensive machine, you've set up mitigation tasks and another AI engine to help mitigate risk. Imagine the traffic. It would be so fast. It would be so fast paced. The amount of logs would blow up really fast because it is quick. And that's the points that article I was just reading was saying, is that it is really, really quick. So you have like millions, potentially, I mean, it depends on the bandwidth, and the processing power, but Imagine the bandwidth between a AI generated attack versus an AI generated defense. It would be insane. It would be cool to see. I'd love to see it. And I mean, it'd be a really good place to test out these kind of models. And potentially malicious actors are running these sort of learning systems. They're trying to train the AI in what's going to work. So instead of it going for low hanging fruit, although it probably will start there, it's going to have a process of, okay, I'm going to start here, and if this, then that, essentially. But it's going to do it really, really fast. So would this just create a DDoS based off an AI generated attack? What if you have a botnet of AI? Now we're getting crazy. What if we have a botnet of automate, like a full botnet? It's fully automated. Each of the botnet computers is not so much DDoSing, but actually pushing out attacks. There's thousands, maybe potentially hundreds of thousands in this botnet, and they're all attacking a system at the same time. Now that is a DDoS. That's going to DDoS in a way, but it would also produce some very interesting angles because it's not a DDoS from one machine. It's a huge denial of service from potentially hundreds of thousands of machines on a botnet that are all pen testing at the same time. This is where things get really interesting. And how do you mitigate against that? Do you just have DDoS protection and that solves the problem? Maybe. I don't know. Kim says, I think AI, specifically in cybersecurity, will make a lot of functions obsolete, but as an industry, we will thrive more and it will enable cybersecurity. I tend to agree, and I am very hopeful of that as a future for AI. You also said AI replaces functions and processes, making things more efficient. Yes. So the point is speed and efficiency. Is it correct though? Is it doing the right thing? Is it actually doing it correctly? This is where AI training models come into place because that's where it learns from the mistakes and then improves on that and makes it better the next round. And this is like futuristic AI. This is not current AI, I don't believe, because we're not quite at that stage where it's less of a tool and an assistant than it is a full blown let's botnet hundreds of thousands of computers. Let's go to showdown. Let's go to and take over a whole bunch of machines. We run a script automatically on those that is like a script process. So it just keeps hitting further down the line depending on if this, then that. So I think that would be an interesting point to have a look at to see if that implication creates further discrepancy or if it actually does learn from its mistakes and say, okay, this works 90% of the time. This particular attack works 90% of the time. We will use this more often because it works. I mean, that's definitely a possibility to think about. Let's have a quick look. I want to have a look at, I'll just move this slightly. I'll just share my screen. All right, Hacker GPT. Now, I mean, we can play around with Hacker GPT. We can say no plugins. Yeah, that's okay. CyberSec, Nuclei. Okay, let's go with Nuclei. Oh, the website's a bit bug-tastic. That's all right. Let's go discover submarine. Okay. I don't think that worked. To select a different plugin, please first turn off the enhanced search. Okay. Discover submarines. I want to run recon on saferinternetproject.com and investigate any vulnerabilities present. Oh man, I need to sign up for this to make it work. That's a shame. I was going to try out some Hacker GPT to see if I could find vulnerabilities on my own website. That's okay. I'll just go back to my own screen and I'll sign up an account. Let's have a look. Signing up, signing up, signing up. Do, 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 do. Okay, I have signed up. Go back, have a look. Just rerunning the command. The prompt that I gave it was, I want to run recon on saferinternetproject.com and investigate any vulnerabilities present. Subfinder scan results. We've got a bunch of different language versions by the looks of it. We've got learn.saferinternetproject. Looks good. Okay. I mean, what else would you like to see it do? Do we want to see it try and like fully break in and see what can happen? Why not? Let's turn on this enhanced search. I'm not really sure what. Oh, okay, let's turn that off. Once you no. Please identify vulnerabilities on saferinternetproject.com. Let's go with some basic stuff. I just want to see what it finds, if it finds anything, if it can do anything, see what it comes up with. So this is pretty cool. This is essentially running a few different scans. Let's have a look. It's finished. Reconnaissance and information gathering utilize tools like Subfinder, HTTP Probe, Wayback URLs, and GAU to gather a comprehensive list of subdomains. Starting the scan, it might take a few minutes. Done. It's not much on here, so that's fair enough. Subfinder and HTTP Probe and Wayback. Okay. Target, saferinternetproject.com. Identified subdomains. We already knew that. HTTP Probe scan results. Not much. So we're not really like discovering a lot of vulnerabilities here. Maybe I'll try a different website. Let's try one of my other websites. Let's see if I can chain it. We'll put in a few different domains. I've got a few different websites, so we can try out a few. They're all built on different systems. One's a WordPress site, one's a Wix site, and one is a I can't remember. It's just like custom HTML. So not much. Identify if XSS is present on datasec.co. Let's check it out. Okay. XSS payload list comics. Scan done. Okay. It's kind of cool. And you can download it. Now, some interesting parts here is that you can chain this. So I ran this against 3 different websites. All of these I own, so don't get upset. Please, YouTube, don't flag me for risky content because I own all of these domains. I'm just running examples here to see if this is possible. So XSS, some good stuff in here. Kind of interesting. If I copy the code, chuck it into Notepad, Sublime. Do I have Sublime? Yeah, I do. I was about to say, where the hell is my Sublime text? I thought I had Notepad++ for a second, but apparently not. So, okay, it doesn't actually give you more output than what's on the screen here. Okay. Identify if SQL injection is present on. Now, I'm quite sure it's not, but I'd be interested to see if it finds it and what the output is. SQL map, fair enough. Info warning. Non-persistent SQL injection parameter, no. Info. Okay. Run Ghidra on datasec.co. Is Ghidra a plugin that's installed in Hacker GPT? Ghidra is a version. Yep. Okay. So that's interesting. You can get it to reference. You can get it to reference different tools, which is kind of interesting. Run WP scan on datasec.co. Is WP scan installed? Ah, okay. Let's see if this works. Now I'm just really messing about with it. What does it let me do? And I mean, how does this reference? So this is going to, okay. Give me a list of, help me hack my Facebook account. Let's run a meme. Let's do it. Let's see what comes out. No bueno. That's a shame. I've always wanted to hack into my Facebook account. If I had $1 for every time someone asked me to hack a Facebook account, I would be a millionaire. But that's okay. So we can see, I mean, Hacker GPT is a cool tool for sure. It's definitely a step in the direction of AI generated, at least scanning. It does do a few different scans. You can load different plugins into the tool. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. It does a few things. However, is it going to replace the job of a pen tester? No. Is the role of pen testing going to change from pen testing, though, into prompt engineering? In the future, maybe. Will the prompt engineer be the hacker in the cybersecurity space? Is that where things are going to go? Maybe. That's where things get a little bit interesting. And this is a discussion I want to have. My question to you guys for this live stream is, do you know someone who is invested heavily in the AI space, who is currently running cybersecurity systems entirely based, like the main base of the project is an AI engine? If you guys know one of those people, please get them to reach out, because I want to have a chat with some people in the AI space to actually talk about these topics. As I'm bringing back this podcast, I need people to talk to. So I need to identify that. So the people that I'm looking for at the moment to talk to, and if you are one of these people, please let me know. You can find me on Discord, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram if you really want. Don't message me on Facebook. I never open it. And yeah, let me know. I want to have a chat, and I want to discuss things like AI and cybersecurity. I want to talk about cybersecurity global legislation. I want to talk about the global impact of the growth of cybersecurity as an industry. these are the sort of topics that I want to cover on this podcast. And if you're one of those people, let me know. I'd love to have a chat. Until then, though, thank you for watching this very short live stream. It's been a pleasure having a chat with you guys, and I'll talk to you on the next one. Peace out.